All right, guys, lunch menu from the Spanish MREs. It's menu number 2 from lunch menu series or sequence A. I am excited to try this. This is going to have some interesting things in it. Y'all told me when I opened the last one you liked learning about the MRE together. So we're going to do that, but we do have a little evidence from last time. We've got this vitamin C, so that's going to be that kind of a drink. There are 4 of those, 4 packets, and if it's like last time, you need all 4 to make a decent drink because it's kind of like a Gatorade, lemonade, and then here's the Crema Dental Florida. That's going to be the toothpaste. There we go, we've got something there, and we'll flip that over. It's some kind of cream, might be jam maybe. Our heat tabs. There is our disinfectant for our hands. You just squeeze out. Pot Gallego. And it has the easy open there. That's good. And here, calamares with its own ink. That is going to be fun. I'm excited to try that. Our gum, napkin, stove, and matches. So one thing we learned with the last video is we needed crackers. So I've got a variety of crackers here. But what I found out was that when the Spanish are issued MREs in the morning, they're given crackers as well. So you get your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and crackers are issued to you, and that's what we brought. In fact, let me show you real quick. I have your standard saltine crackers, some wheat thins, we have Ritz, and we have a multi-grain cracker. I thought those would be fun to try as well. Then the other thing we didn't have is silverware, and they carry their own silverware with them. Apparently they're issued in Spain, they're issued metal silverware. I got my old World War II mess kit, which this is the kind of one I had as a boy. I never kept it, so I had to buy this recently. But I have my knife, my fork, and my spoon, all stamped US. And check this out. That says right on it, 1945. Wow. The man I bought it from said these were from World War II, so that's pretty cool. Well, we have mentioned before that I was aboard the USS El Paso, and while on board, I bought that cup. So we are going to take our drink mix, which smells like the last one did. Looks like the same kind of powder. So we know from the last time, we need to add plenty of it. So we're going to get started there. I'm just going to go ahead and add all 4 packets. One thing I'll say is they have the nice handy dandy tear right there on the package. That's kind of nice. There's our powder. Let's add the appropriate amount of water. We always seem to get that just right. There we go. Perfect. That one's more salty than sweet, actually. Tastes a little different than the last one. Might just be the way I mixed it. All right, let's open this big can. It does say Pote Gallego. I don't know what that is. Let's find out here.
It's like it's upside down. That's interesting. The lettering.
The labels. Ooh. Oh, you know what that looks like?
That is soup?
Yeah, it looks like a soup.
What's that orange stuff?
That's going to be fat or spices and fat.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Let's grab our spoon. No, we're going to grab the fork because we know there's liquid. Okay, it looks like potatoes, navy beans maybe, some kind of greens. That's going to be the fat that'll help give it more flavor. There's some, oh, you know what?
Is that bacon?
It looks kind of like, yeah, it looks like bacon. Yeah, that looks like pork of some kind.
It's like a bean and bacon soup.
Yeah, exactly. Smells flavorful.
With some greens in it.
Mm-hmm. That'll give it some good flavor. I like my greens. Open up our stove, a little camp stove. See if I can remember how to do this. There we go. Put our tablets in there, set the stove on that. Let's get this party started. I'm going to crack this in half before I open it. Makes it a lot easier to light. I think she's going, isn't she?
One match.
Nice. Stick our tin right on top. We'll get make sure we undo our napkin here, so I've got that all ready to go. What do we have here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Unless I miscounted there, I count 11 napkins. Okay, this, it says sopa de pollo con pasta. So I know pollo, I've heard of that in Spanish restaurants, that's chicken. Con pasta is pasta, I guess. Let's see what, again, I like these because they have the nice, easy open. That's so nice. Huh. It's, yeah, it's bits of chicken, I'm guessing. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to wait to do anything with that. So we'll have our soup on standby. Let's see what creme de membrillo is. Oh yeah, that's like apple or something. That smells good. This was well protected. The way that was sealed up. We're going to leave that there. It smells, it's some kind of fruit. I'm not sure if it smells like either strawberry or apple. And that's boiling up nicely. Hold on to this. Oh yeah, that's some bean and bacon soup. Look at that.
Big
look at that.
chunks.
Oh look, that looks like sausage, doesn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, that is cool. That's sausage. That looks like ham fat. Oh my, that looks really good.
Some hearty stuff.
Oh yeah, very definite. Let's open up the old squid. Oh. Oh yes. Looks remarkably the same, except for in a dark liquid. It's in its own ink. Ooh, that smells good. That smells really good. Now I know that squid ink has some real nutritional qualities, I read. It's going to be interesting to see if the flavor is any different than the squid in oil was. Say a prayer. Father in heaven, I do appreciate this food. Thank you for the goodness of it. Thank you for the variety. And I ask you to bless it to my body. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Let's get started with some soup here, guys. Let's grab out this big old chunk of sausage first. We've got a few greens, a part of a bean and a tater, it looks like. Got a lot of flavor to it. The sausage is real chewy. It's like a chewy, like a piece of beef, like a strip of beef would be. I don't think it's pork. I think it might be beef. The beef itself, not real flavorful. It's just obviously meat. Let's try a little of the bacon, or what I think to be is bacon. It's got a lot of fat on it. You can see that on the cross section there. There we go. So beans, greens, and ham. Yep, definitely pork, flavorful. The fat went down good with it. The beans are good. They're not mealy. They're good and cooked. That's a good dish. I wish I had some salt. But I do have crackers, so let's do this. Let's crunch a part of a saltine in there, because that may be where they're getting their salt, between the seafood and the crackers.
That other piece of meat looks like it might be liver or something. I don't know. Maybe when it popped up, it was like, look at that.
Yeah.
Or, well, maybe not. Maybe just a piece of beef.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a piece of beef.
Yeah.
But, oh, look at, there's a good healthy bite. We got a little bit of everything there.
That looks like a southern, like beans and greens kind of.
It does. But I have to say, it's not as flavorful as the good southern cooking I'm used to. It's good soup. The cracker definitely helps with a little bit of salt to it. Tell you what, guys. As afraid as people are nowadays of salt, the Bible always talks about salt as being good. Since antiquity, salt has been traded and has been a very valuable commodity. I think we're a little bit whacked right now in our society, that as good as we have it, as affluent as we are, that we can start ridiculing things like salt. Obviously moderation in all things, but salt makes everything taste a lot better. we're going to take our canteen that I got from when I was in the Marine Corps. We'll add some water to it. Let's put that right on. You know what, I'm going to switch that around so I can grab it. We'll let that water boil. I'm going to cleanse the old palate. I haven't eaten anything bad. It's just nice to have a cleansed palate to try the next thing. So while that's boiling up, let's give our jam some try here. It looks good. First I'll just try a bit. Good consistency. Smells fruity. Interesting. Real grainy. It's like they did everything. They did the peel and the fruit itself. Golly, that's good. I can't tell if that's cherry or strawberry.
Might be a fruit mix if you can't tell what it is, you know?
You know what, that may, yeah, that's right.
Kind of like how we do put cranberries in a lot of things.
So let's see. Oh, the sweet with the salt of the cracker, that brings out the sweetness all the more. That is good. I wonder what it would taste like with a multi-grain cracker. Let's try that. That'd be kind of a different taste.
Look at the flame there.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, that is crazy.
All right, let's try a little multi-grain cracker with this jam. It's definitely jam because it has some skin in it. It's not bad, but too much going on. I just like this plain old salt with the sweet. So definitely creme de membrillo. Highly recommend it. That's good stuff. While our water is boiling up there, I have a little box of different things that I'm going to reach over and grab it real quick. As you can see, we've got quite a few things here, but I'll just go through a few of them. These have been in there a long time. This would have been from 1983. I used to sell sunglasses, so this must have been a pair I decided to keep for some reason. Here's an ammo pouch for an M16A1 rifle. And what the guys would do, you load your rounds in the top, and these are just, there's a spring. In fact, you can see right in the side here, I'll push that down, you can see the spring. And you'd load your rounds in, it shows you which direction to load them. And then you would tape, the guys that were seriously in combat, you would tape these together, something like this. So you'd literally put duct tape around them. And then when you're firing, you start like this, you have this in your rifle, and when you're done firing the rounds out of this, you just flip it upside down and put one on one side, and then when that's over, you just take it out and you put one in the other. So you could actually, instead of having, I think these held 20 rounds, you would have 60 rounds because you put 3 together, and you could just fire, clip, clip, fire, clip, clip, fire, and have 60 rounds. So you could really throw a lot of rounds down range before anybody had a chance to see what was going on. A lot of times you were doing cover fire and stuff. So while you were walking, while you were marching, they stayed in a pack when I was back in 80 to 84. Oh, another thing here, when I was on the flight deck, they issued me these aural protectors, sound is what they're called. Very military right there. And I'll tell you what, if you've ever been to a gun range or anything and worn these, it's like it deadens the sound pretty darn well. You can see on the inside, they're full of foam. These were actually made in November of 1978. You can see right there. This is what we had on the flight deck of the USS Iwo Jima. And again, it was a helicopter flight deck. The helicopters landed and took off from it when I was involved in it. This is a first aid kit issued to me. Take this, set it aside. So what we have here is a decontaminating kit for the skin. It says right up on the directions on the top there. So you take one of the vials and dip a gauze pad in it, and you wipe the surface off. Then you take, according to the instructions, take one of these sticks, and if there's any skin that's burned that you need to remove because it's dead and damaged, you use a stick to take that skin away. And then you take the other vial, shake it vigorously, dip in the gauze pad, and then you wipe that area off excessively, it says. and then see if there's any kind of nerve agent involved, and if there is, then it takes a different kit. It's a pretty serious kit in its day. Of course, none of the seals have been compromised on the vials, but it's had its day in the sun, that's for sure. Well, that's just another little memento I have from when I was active duty, and we'll get into some more of them on another video. We're going to add our soup here, our mix rather. There we go. And it's flaming up nicely. Now this has got the chicken in it. A polo is chicken. Ooh, man, that's good. So let's try our chicken and pasta. I've had the broth, it's good. Needs salt. I should have left it a little longer. The noodles are a little crunchy still. In fact, they're a lot crunchy, and they're holding a lot of the salt that I'm wanting to have. Oh, I should have left that on there a little longer. Note to self, if you get ready to have one of these, let that thing boil up good, because the noodles were still they were very al dente. And inside the noodles, because they were like a shell noodle, the little tiny ones, it was a lot of seasoning inside those shells. So yeah, let that boil up really well. Let's cleanse the old palate before we move on to the squid. So let's take a look. I want to show you, this is pretty darn cool. Let's get the knife out. We'll lick the jam off pretty much. Let's take that apart and look at what is inside this squid. Those aren't guts, actually. That is the tentacles. That is the tentacle packet there, if you will. Let's slide those out if we can. There we go. So here is the complete package of tentacles that were inside that squid. You can kind of see them there. Turn a little purple on the end because of the ink. Dark. Let's try just a little bit of tentacle without cracker first. Definitely different in the ink. There's a little bit of a grainy, kind of crunchy to it. That's funny. That's different than the oil. Let's try some with the cracker. Now this is just going to be the hollow body cavity of the squid. You can see it's just nothing inside there. Dip it in a little bit of the ink. The taste of this is a little different from the oil. This reminds me more of like a sardine dish. There's something, I'm not sure what it is. Must be the ink that's involved in it. That ink, maybe it changed the texture or something. The texture is more meaty than the oiled ones. The oiled ones in the last video had a texture like pasta. This has texture more like a firm fish. That's very interesting that there's a difference. Look at, oh, let's see how much is inside this one. Let's check it out. We'll peel that away if we can. Actually, here's what we'll do. It's already, I don't know if that's just serrated or it just comes naturally like that, but check that out.
So they tuck the head back in the body.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can get more of that out.
Almost looks to me like they might have put multiple heads or something.
You know what? Yeah, because I don't know. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Yeah. There's where the beak was. You can see right at the base of a squid or octopus's tentacles is a beak. You have to be careful not to get bit by that beak because that hurts. It actually takes a plug out of it. It's like a parrot beak. That's good.
Which one do you like better?
Oh, ink. Give me ink.
You like the ink better?
Ink,
wow.
Definitely. It has to me, it has a better texture, and the flavor is better. That ink really. Let's try a little ink juice. It's salty. It's inky. Let's try it with. Okay, so we're try it with a multigrain cracker. I'm just going to use my fingers. Good.
All right, you got me. I want to try it.
I'll tell you, I like it with a multigrain cracker.
Well, that's different. It has a much stronger flavor than
Yeah,
the oil one.
yeah,
It's very
yeah.
strong
I
flavor.
like it. Let's take the bottom of it out. There we go.
That's like doubly strong flavor over the oil one.
No, that's good. Okay, try Ritz. I just, again, I think this is so cool. What's inside these things? I mean, check that out. You've got,
It seems to me like that's a lot of work to take the head off, like clean out the body, take the head off, and then put the head back in the,
yeah.
tuck it back
Yeah.
in there.
I wonder if it's a machine or, you know, like when we first moved to Idaho back in 1984, they had people that actually, it was mostly women, they would fillet the trout in the trout farms to get them to market. By the time we left Idaho, I don't think anybody was cleaning their own trout anymore as far as the commercial trout hatcheries. They had machinery and it just sliced the trout. And in fact, I'll have to tell you all about that in another video. I got a great story about that. But anyway, it was all done by machines. I wonder if this is done, you know, like somehow there's a machine and it chops off the head and they stuff it back in it, because it's so uniformly done no matter what the size of the squid. Now,
And that's such a labor-intensive thing to do.
Yeah,
I think you'd
yeah.
have to have a machine that does that.
and then let's try it with a saltine. I don't think I've done the old saltine yet. You know what? I'm kind of surprising myself here, guys. I actually like that squid with a saltine better. The saltine's a little more bland. It doesn't have much flavor to it of itself. It's just got salt. And that's some good stuff. Tell you what, if you've never had squid in its own ink, I highly recommend it. A lot of ink there, Asa.
Nothing like, that'll build you up.
That is good. Well, we have our toothpaste that we can brush our teeth with. Probably really want to do that before I go smooching on my wife. And we have the gum, which I only have one piece. I'm gonna cleanse the old palate. I've got another one of these, and I hear tell that Vlad has sent me a Spanish MRE too. So got to check the PO box. Let's see what else we have coming up. See you in the next one.